Miss Martin Muses and Morning Musings. Hope everyone is well today and everything is just coming up roses and everything else. Um, Conroy, they got Ice Queen in Game of Thrones. That is not the Game of Thrones. It is Wheel of Time, actually. And we're going to be talking a little bit about Wheel of Time, but also some of the things from The Witcher and more. And I breaking one of my little rules. One of my rules is that I didn't really want to look at the Wheel of Time TV show because I was afraid, of getting things into my head. But there was something that was put together really well for me that made me realize, oh my gosh, there is no way this is going to get stuck in my head because it is so far away from anything that is even close to what is going on in the Wheel of Time. So I, said, well, what the hell? I'll maybe put some of these together. And I'm going to be joined by Steve in a few minutes. So we're going to be welcoming everyone here. How is everyone this morning? Hope your day is going well. Mine started off really nicely. I have a cup of coffee with the chocolate cherry flavored coffee, which is quite good, frankly. I know some people are against flavored coffee, but I am not. I am not at all. Well, look who it is. It is Adega Outlaw. Good morning. Good morning. I hope that you are having a fine day today so far. It is nice and sunny here, and I don't think it's going to get too hot. So that's nice. Sometimes it can get so hot already this time of year that you can't really enjoy the afternoon. But so far, two thumbs up, two thumbs up. Well, I hope you all had fun for St. Patrick's Day. Me and the family, we watched a movie called Grabbers. It was insane, but surprisingly good. It was very Irish movie about an alien species that comes to this island, and they discover that if you're drunk, that you won't die. So it was a fun St. Patrick's Day movie. I would really recommend it. I'm not sure St. Patrick would recommend it. He was never into that kind of stuff. I think he's always a little bit horrified by the way we celebrate St. Patrick's Day. He's like, that's what I was against. This is what I warned you all about, especially the drunkenness. But oh well. It is what it is. What can a girl say? What can a girl say? Yeah, so we're going to be going through some details of the uglification in entertainment. Like, why is everything ugly? Where is beauty right now? Why are women making themselves ugly? We have it happening in two ways. We have movies where they're making women, especially women, ugly. And then we have women doing it to themselves. So sometimes you can go and see a movie and the person is gorgeous, looks lovely. And then you go and see them at an Academy Awards or in an interview and they look horrendous. I think a good example of that is Cynthia Erivo. Feelings about how everyone feels about her put aside. In the movie, she looked lovely. And then you see her in real life, you're like, oh my gosh, you can be beautiful. Why are you making yourself ugly? Look who it is. It's Potato Revan, all the way from across the pond. I started talking about Ireland and drunkenness, and he appears. But of course, that is a stereotype. We watched the movie Grabbers last night. Far better than the Banshees of Inish, whatever Inish it is. This movie is about another Inish. And alien comes along and they have to be drunk to survive. DJ Play Nice, great to see you. Hello, everyone's saying hello. Potato Reverend says the left rule media aura and they support uglification. Yeah. I guess I want to say why. What are they getting out of it? That's something that I want to throw out there. Though in many cases, in some genres, you still see beauty. I think an example of that is what was it? Things like the John Wick, from what I recall, action movies. Action movies tend to have beautiful women. thinking of the Indiana Jones movie, the Indiana Jones 5, where they didn't have a beautiful woman lead. It's like, and it's not that we have to look at beautiful women all the time, but you don't have to make people ugly. And maybe there so much ugliness because things are ugly. I've talked before about the iconoclast stuff going on where they're destroying our heroes. So, how do you destroy your heroes? You make them act ugly, like what they did with Luke Skywalker. Well, maybe that's the same with what they're doing. They make them look ugly. We see it in architecture. We've definitely seen it in church architecture since the 60s. Like, look at your average Catholic church, especially before and then after. It's a disgrace. Potato Ribbon says, Laugh Out Loud, we will be talking about the Banshee movie on Friday. We will. Have you ever figured out the plot? Somewhat. Somewhat. We will be laughing about that, yes, with Potato Ribbon this Friday on his channel. The worst movie ever. So acclaimed, though, wasn't it? I mean, that was the thing. We all heard, oh, it's just great. It's a drama comedy. It's like, I don't think I laughed once in the entire thing. Terrible, terrible movie. Adika Outlaw saw it. It's the brutalist part of Marxism, the removal of what stands out and above. Oh, interesting. Potato Bourbon says, because if you can move what beauty is, you can control attraction. They want to turn away men from being attracted to women, and the fat positivity movement is killing people. Yeah. They want to turn men away. That's an interesting theory. Yeah, because I did ask the question on the thumbnail, why do they do this? Well, and here's what's a little bit ridiculous about the positivity movement. It wasn't supposed to be about morbidly obese people. It was supposed to be this kind of ridiculousness that you had to practically be anorexic. So, like, if you're, for lack of a better word, mid in your weight, that's perfectly fine. Like, they were saying that people that were, like, size 8 to 10 and stuff were fat. That's not fat. That's pretty healthy. That's right there. You're not that was what the positivity movement was supposed to be about. Is about, come on, let's not be ridiculous. These people are not fat. But then it turned into what it's turned into now. And no matter how hard they try to make it look pretty, it's just not. Potato Ribbon says, if a man walks up to a woman now and says, you're beautiful, it's sexist and misogynist and predators, so men aren't approaching women anymore. Yeah. I agree. I don't know what I would do if I were a man. Well, I can tell you as a woman, I don't know what to do. Because on the one hand, you do have the creeps. It's happened. And it's weird. It's very weird. But on the flip side, yes. And men don't want to be entrapped either. Who wants to be entrapped into something? And we've seen that even if you're exonerated, it's always hanging over your head. Oh, this person was accused of this. Potato Bourbon says, if a man... Oh, wait, I already said that. Oh, okay, I got it. Good. Well, oh, dear. So that's a bit of an issue. But also, in general, art is not beautiful looking. We've all seen those things that are just like blobs on a canvas. And while I might appreciate a little bit of the sentiment behind it, we're far beyond that. Far beyond that. Now, one area where there is still beauty it still hasn't been compromised is music. Rather, instrumental music that accompanies TV shows and movies. Still very, very good. Like, look at Game of Thrones, and they're reusing that theme for the House of the Dragon. Gorgeous, gorgeous music. Video games still has great music. I was watching the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Oh, lovely themes. This new Harry Potter movie or TV show is not going to even compare to the movie just based on the music alone. I bet you the music is going to suck because you can't you can't get to John Williams' level of greatness. And I bet you they'll try. They'll try to make it ugly, ugly, ugly music. But for the most part, I almost contradicted myself. For the most part, I think music is still beautiful in TV shows. Potato Reverend says, I was raised with super far left feminists. My sister's and a man hater because a lot of stuff she says, you can ask my friends. I don't smile and don't look at my own face. Oh, I am so sorry. Yeah. Women are horrendous. I say this as a woman. It can be pretty bad. On the other hand, so can men. I think the idea is that, okay, let's quote from Gettysburg when the dude said, Buster says, anyone who judges by the group is a peewit. You take people, was what he meant, one at a time. I say that because it was during the Civil War. And back then, they were keeping movies authentic. That's what they would have said during the Civil War. I've apologized for laughing before. Well, I am so sorry. So sorry about that. Well, take that back. Don't let the bastards get you down. I have a video to send you, Halo in Gregorian chant theme. It's amazing. Holy crud, I'll bet it is. Well, look who it is. It is Gorilla's Censored Thoughts. Kapla got a lurk. Thank you for the Klingon this morning. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And lurking is always encouraged here at Miss Martin Muses. Definitely. Yeah, you talk about uglification. I've talked before about what's been going on in the Catholic Church since the 70s, where they were like, let's take all this music and throw it out the window. Only the greatest music ever written, things like written by Mozart, Beethoven, all the great composers, Gregorian chant by Anonymous, Palestrina, Thomas Tallis. It's like, well, this might be the greatest stuff on the planet, but no, let's change it up with this awful, awful music that nobody can sing. It's really a disgrace. Really a disgrace. So you can even have the most beautiful building and the like, but the music will be garbage. But definitely Gregorian chant is great. Oh, oops, I was too busy yapping. I missed Steve. Thank you. All right, well, we're going to bring on our guest here. It is none other than all the way from the north, and hopefully a place that still believes in beauty in their architecture and their music. It is the hiking of the north.
Hi, and thank you for having the Gregorian chant precede my arrival.
Yes. Well, it's something worth having. Only the greatest music that ever was.
Well, as for Norwegian music, it's mostly, you know, really black heavy metal or retarded pop culture shit, pop
Oh,
music.
well,
Yeah,
okay.
I said the R word by mistake. Sorry.
It's okay. Well, I'll probably get demonetized just because of uglification, but I appreciate the sentiment. Well, we'll test it. if it still stays monetized, then it wasn't the R word; it was another word.
That means I
In
could
my,
say it all the time.
I sometimes the rules are so arbitrary. You know, in my favorite anime, the most popular song is called "Binky's Brew." I love the song. It's about freedom. Yeah, I think anime they still know what they're doing,
It looks to
and
me that the Japanese anime still knows what they're doing, but since it's become more mainstream now,
hmm
a lot of armies infected that one as well. Western anime has become a thing, and that's, by the looks of it, that's not the same at all. Um, from what I've seen, though, I'm definitely not an expert, but
yeah. Well, it's it's a thing. Um, as far as yes, we're talking about where there is still some beauty, like in music, or where there has been. One area is definitely video games. So, video games has some really good music. Like look at the epic music from Skyrim, the Elder Scrolls, the music in the Witcher video game, etc.
oh yeah, video game music has really, developed in the last 20 years or so.
hmm Yep, 2 thumbs up. Well, I put together a slideshow, and this was all his fault, Steve's fault. He was sending me these, and I'm like, and I put them in a slideshow for us to talk about because I think that this is a really good, good topic, and this was the Steve's suggestion. So we're gonna start with how characters are supposed to look. So, Steve, can you tell us about this picture?
That's the cover of Season of Storms, which is a standalone Witcher book.
hmm
Uh, Takes place during the short stories, so before the main story. And that there is Coral, or other Coral is her nickname. She's a sorceress. That's how she looks. She's on the cover.
hmm
That's not how she looks in the TV show.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and see how she looks in the TV show here. So, boom. Oh no, wait, sorry. The next one is this is how she looks in real life.
Yeah, that's the actress. You
Yes.
know, nothing wrong with the casting, really.
Yeah.
It's close enough, right?
Yeah. Well, she's got beautiful eyes, and nothing wrong with her facial structure
No,
or anything like that. I mean, she's got really tasteful makeup on there, and she definitely could pull this off. I mean, yeah, like
yeah,
curl up that hair and put a little more makeup on her, and that would work. I mean, she's got gorgeous, gorgeous eyes. So
yeah.
this is a
Because the
beautiful.
it's actually a thing with the sorceresses in The Witcher.
hmm
They are vain as heck and obsessed with their appearance,
hmm
and they use magic and potions and stuff to enhance it. So
Yes. Okay, you know more about that than I do, so that definitely makes sense. So let's look at the way she looks in the Witcher TV show. You
yeah,
can't even recognize her, even if you took away all the blood and stuff there in that picture.
yeah, that's what they did. Does that look like someone who's vain and obsessed with her appearance? I mean,
Mm-mm.
she's wearing a sack made of a skinned animal by the looks of it.
Yeah. Well, and look at her hair and her makeup and no makeup. Well, obviously she's wearing makeup. They wear makeup, but the makeup that they're doing is making it look like she does not have makeup. And
You know what she looks like?
what does she
A
look like?
member of the Donner Party.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, it does. It does. It looks like a Western Oregon Trail kind of a thing where
Yeah,
they're old and haggard, but she also looks old. in this picture. That's something that strikes me. That, like, when you look at her face and the hair, she definitely looks really old. And this is something that we're going to also point out, is that for some reason in these, they like to do something with their jaws. They're wanting women, even if they're not really having that facial structure, they're wanting them to have very masculine looking jaws, like the way they do their makeup.
Yeah.
And yes, we think it has to do with, as they say, the Transformers for some reason, because we've seen this recently. And once you see it, you can't really unsee it, that this is what they're doing to women. All right, so this is Steke's picture here, or these are all Steke's pictures, rather, from The Witcher.
Yeah.
And okay, yeah.
Yeah, this
Now
is
this,
Min from the Wheel of
mhm,
Time books. And,
yes,
a fairly accurate picture,
yeah,
right?
I liked this picture. Like when I imagine Min,
Yeah.
yeah, Min Farshaw, nice, cute, curly hair, very feminine looking. Um, the clothes are kind of like what she would wear if she was a bit tomboyish. She had short hair,
Yeah.
and then uh, oh, Potato Revan is accurate, I believe. Here,
Yeah. Yeah.
masculizing women and feminizing men. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so this is the way she looks in the TV show.
Yeah.
Swapped because apparently someone named Min has to be of Asian descent.
Yeah. I bet you they, oh, yeah, Min sounds Asian. Let's make her Asian. Again,
Mhm.
the jaw.
Yeah.
And she also looks like she stepped right out of the Matrix or something, like some kind of background character at a bar in the Matrix.
That's a very good description. Yeah, look at the clothes. Like the clothes are off, the
Tattoos on the
hair.
chest.
Yeah. And look at the half-shaved hair on the side. The hair is ugly. She's wearing a big earring. Now it's not multiple piercings, but again, it's not an attractive one. Now, if these are like publicity pictures, so this is how they're choosing to represent the actress. And yeah, the makeup is used in the lighting to make her jaw look huge. She does not have eye makeup on that is feminine. It's just the typical eye makeup on that you would almost put on a man. Everyone's got to wear some kind of makeup for these shows, otherwise they wouldn't show up on the camera correctly. But definitely not feminine makeup. You can't
And
tell of
looks like
enhancing her eyes.
a ladyboy from Thailand.
Yeah, exactly. It's very, yeah, the cat lady haircut. Can I speak to your manager? Haircut. And she looks so smug. Yeah, that's the other thing. The women are acting ugly. They definitely look smug.
You know what I never understood?
What?
Why do they always look so smug when at the same time they claim they're so oppressed? Oppressed people aren't have nothing to be smug about, do they?
That is a very good point. Yeah. And so arrogant with other people. Well, I guess smug, arrogant. It's all ugly cousins of each other. All right, the next one. This is
That's
another Wheel of
Swan
Time.
Sanche, the Amerlin seat, I think.
Yes. And this is how she was described in the book.
Yeah, blue eyes.
Mm-hmm.
That
Blue
was
eyes, and
actually
dark hair.
repeated quite often.
Mm-hmm. And as you can see, nice, lovely hair, nice
Yeah,
dress.
and she also has there's a love interest, love story thing happening eventually.
Hmm. Which they've changed for the TV show, as we know. All right.
Hmm.
So let's see how she looks in the TV show. Yeah.
Hmm.
You can see why I'm okay with doing something like this. There is no way I'm going to get these images in my head that is going to ruin what I'm supposed to be seeing from the Wheel of Time. It is so far from it.
Does that look like an ageless woman to you?
No, it looks like an older woman. Yeah, the Aes Sedai are supposed to, well, they're supposed to be, for lack of a better word, like the elves in the Lord of the Rings. Like they should be having a look like Galadriel.
Yeah,
Like,
just kind of like an yeah agelessness to them. So they all look young, but they look you can tell that they're older, but not physically in a way.
yes,
So it's their aging has kind of frozen a bit. They will age later on because they're not immortal, right?
yes,
But the aging process has slowed down considerably, and yeah.
yeah. Aes Sedai
and
face.
and this one is also all of a sudden a lesbian in this show, which actually wrecks a big storyline. Actually, two storylines gets wrecked by that
Yes, they have.
right from the get go.
Yeah, they have Moraine and her being lovers. They're best friends in the books, but it also affects Moraine. I think that's maybe the other story you're talking about. It's it's so clear. They told them you got to have a same-sex couple. So they thought, well, they're friends in the book, and who cares about anything else? So we'll just do this. So they don't care about the romance that so Schwein, if I'm saying that right, is gonna have.
Swan.
Swan.
Yeah, and also shouldn't her the thing she has over her shoulder, shouldn't that have all the colors of the Argyle on it?
Yes, that's what the Aes Sedai wears,
Yeah,
or
because she's
rather
the
the
head of one.
Amerlin seat.
Yeah, and she represents all of them, so she should have yeah. They
The
missed a chance to put a rainbow there.
There you go. They could have had that. Now, to be fair, because I do not watch the show, I don't know what this scene is supposed to be. So, what the clothes are or everything. Is she supposed to be doing that as her ambulance seat? But first of all, that's ugly as hell what she's got on top of her head. It
It looks
doesn't.
like something you'd seen at a drag queen show thing.
Yeah, or like a really bad burlesque. It's just not good. It doesn't enhance. It doesn't do anything, let's be honest. And of course, we've talked about the swap, but again, it's not just the swap, it's how they're presenting this woman. Now, she does have some nice eye makeup on, at least, thank goodness, but her lip color is not enhancing, if you know what I mean. And
And
again, the strong,
she doesn't have blue eyes either.
well, obviously, well, she well, that goes along with the swap and the
Yeah.
strong jaw going on.
Yeah, again with the jaw.
Yeah, and smug look. For lack of a better word, these women are bitchy. It's and who nobody likes a bitch any more than no one likes an asshole. I always say that when it comes to men. It's like no. Yeah, so it's not even close to the Amerlin seat that I know from the books.
No,
And
there's not a hint, and they're also wrecking the world building a bit because Swan Sanche is from, what is it, Tanchico? I think
Hmm.
she's uh, I think she's the daughter of a fisherman or something,
Yes.
and uh, that means she would be white because there's white people living there. Uh, there are plenty of black people in the Wheel of Time, but as in our world, they are, they have their own area, and in the Wheel of Time, it's the sea folk that are black in the Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
So that they're by far the best sailors in the world. So they're coastal, and by making half the cast, race swapped, you you destroy that, because all of a sudden, I mean, half the main cast has been race swapped. So like all of a sudden, there are sea folk in the middle of the continent, as far away from the ocean as you can probably get,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
That's not how medieval worlds worked.
No.
You know, I mean, the main cast doesn't even know they are part of a country when the story starts, because they're so isolated and secluded, right?
Yeah. Yeah. If it were modern day where we had airplanes and cars, it might be one thing. But
Yeah.
this it's doesn't go along with world building, but also, I mean, we know why they do this because the rules are it has to be a main character. That's why we're seeing what we're seeing with the Harry Potter with making Snape. Like they couldn't just leave Kingsley or some of the other characters that were already black. They had to have a main character. Though, of course, they've made the biggest mistake of their lives making it Snape, of all people. But it's the same thing. Well, they have to have a main character. You have to have lesbians. So kill two birds with one stone.
Yeah.
I, yeah,
Well, they did it with this
yep,
race swap, and another thing, they also have to put them in that power positions in
yes.
society.
True. Yeah, you're right. I mean, there were women, of course, on Para, obviously, because it's the Aes Sedai, but they're not accurately presenting the Aes Sedai at all. So,
Yeah.
who's this?
Milva from The Witcher, uh, classic Amazon, tall and blonde, uses bow and arrow. I mean, it's a stereotype
Hmm.
Amazon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Superb character. I think she shows up in book 3, um, of the main series of the Witcher books. Awesome character, and not a Mary Sue or anything. She's flawed. Um, Gets put in danger just as much as Geralt and the others, right?
Hmm.
Needs help. Everyone needs help in those books. But yeah, she was made to be a classic Amazon, stereotypical look. That's not how
Yeah.
she looks in the show.
I know. So, we're going to look at
Oh,
how.
and the fact that she's an archer is vital to the plot, actually.
Oh, alrighty. Well, let's see how she looks in the TV show. Oh, whoops. That's not her. Oh, shoot. Maybe I screwed that up. Damn it. I hate my life. Let me see.
I'll find a link for it.
Okay, thank you, Stieg. Maybe I put my slideshow out of order. Hello, everyone coming in. Yay, it's Rachel Percy Art. It's a day get outlawed. Spiggles met. It is, who else? John showed up, and of course, Snowder Poopy Scooper. We love our polar bears here at Miss Martin Muses, as well as, let's see, everyone else, and that will be watching on the replay. Yes, we are looking at the uglification. Why are they making everything ugly? Now, as you can see, this is a gorgeous picture. This is a character from The Witcher. And they look at her jaw, look at her blush. very feminine looking makeup. As I've said, they always have to use makeup when they go to different characters on the show. Men even are wearing makeup when they're on screen, but there's things that enhance the masculine nature of the men, and there are things that enhance the feminine nature of the women. And so when we've got this picture, like even in paintings, or I'm assuming this is a painting, or whether even this was done with, any kind of computer, look at her feminine makeup, right? Everything about this is showing beauty, femininity, the shape of her face, all of that. But as we can see here in a second, it's going to get different. Let me see if I can look this up as well. Yes, we have a comparison picture about when they decided to make her into the TV show The Witcher, and it was nuts. Oh, here it is. Okay, I think that maybe I can bring it up. Actually, I'm going to take this out and take this out for a second. Maybe I can find it. There it is. Okay, I have found the picture of what she looks like in the TV show. So I just had my slides out of order. I apologize for that. Here she is. This is her in the TV show.
Yeah, again with the jaw.
Yep. Yeah, we
And that there
have
does not look like an Amazon, does it?
no. It looks like, frankly, a peasant woman that's about ready to maybe do some leather working around her farm or something.
Does that look like someone you'd run into in medieval Poland?
Well, no, obviously we have a swap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and apparently she is more of a swordswoman in the show rather than a full blown archer, which is because in the books Milva isn't really that good with swords. She'll sneak up on people and slit their throats and stuff, but she's not a someone who runs around with a you know like a
Yeah.
ninja.
Yes. Looks Mongol, not Nordling. Well, yes, in that part of the world, that is exactly. You
And the thing that kind of sucks with this is they're all about representation, right?
hmm
But how often does Polish fairy tales and Polish myths and legends and and culture get a chance to be represented on screen? That's almost never.
Yes,
And
I
when
would
it
agree.
finally happens, they fill it with all kinds of non-Polish stuff. And
That's a very good point.
yeah, and the Witcher world is basically a kind of like a fantasy version of Europe, right? The people on the Skellige Isles are obviously Vikings
hmm
and stuff like that. So, but by mixing it like that and turning the whole Witcher world into a melting pot of all kinds of races and whatever, you're diluting it incredibly. And when you do this with every show, all you succeed at is making every fantasy world look exactly the same because you put the same ingredients in all of them, right?
That's a very good point. I forget who it was. Somebody put on X during the Rings of Prime, rather. They put the cast from the Wheel of Time with the cast of the Wheels of Rings of Prime.
Yeah,
They could have been in the same world.
yeah, and even the costumes are almost the same, and the same would apply to The Witcher.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, heck,
Well,
if someone said, "Yeah, this is a new character from The Rings of Power," you would believe it, right?
absolutely. Or this
Yeah,
could have been the wheels of the ring, the wheels of prime. Guys, they all run together, even their names now. Now, also her hair. Look at her hair. It's not attractive. It's not even the kind of hairstyle that you would expect from the era. It looks like, frankly, something from Vidal Sassoon in the 1980s. It's
yeah. She looks
very
like someone
angular.
who would not be out of place in, a Jet Li movie or
Hmm.
something like that. Uh, and I'm sure the actress is great too, but that there's not a European Amazon.
No. And I'm sure she looks pretty in real life as well, like the other actress that we saw. Once
It, it,
again,
it
we've got
it's always the jaw.
yeah, the jaw. As I was about ready to
Yeah,
say, they they make the makeup that way as well.
yeah. That's what the makeup is used for, to enhance the jaw.
Yeah, yeah, gotta make them ugly. Uglification. Yeah, gosh, this. Oof. All right, all right. Now let's go to this.
Yeah, Landfair from The Wheel of Time, and this is a very accurate picture.
Hmm.
That's how she is described, and she's also known for always wearing white. That's the thing.
Yes.
It's a big hint in the book when they run into someone who's wearing a white dress, right?
Yeah, that's how you know it's land fear. And I love this picture, by the way, because it's very much the way she is described in the book, as you said yourself. But let's point out everything about it is feminine. You know, she's definitely got some boobs, and the clothes are enhancing them, not making them look ugly. That she's
Yeah,
got bright red lipstick, so that's very womanly, feminine,
and
seductive.
her main weapon is basic. Well, it is the one power, which is magic, but it's also seduction.
Hmm.
She screws up people's minds and motivations, and the kind of like the kind of like a femme fatale that kind of like likes to rule from behind the throne in a way.
Yeah, and yeah, her jewelry, everything about her is quite lovely. And let's look here at her in the show. Oh, fuck. Okay, these things, pardon my French.
There you
My
go.
slides are out of order. Okay, here she is.
Does that look like the lady in the picture?
No. Now, if I'm correct, this is supposed to be her when she reveals herself.
Yeah,
But even so, she's always supposed to look the way she still looks. The
yeah,
evil from her is within her.
yeah, and she does not wear dark clothing. And again, look at the jaw.
Hmm.
And again, looks like something you'd see in a bar scene in one of the Matrix movies.
Yeah. In Nordporial, he says Lanfear is supposed to be supermodel hot. Definitely. Well, she's definitely. Hmm.
I think
Yeah.
Robert Jordan said when he wrote Landfair, he pictured Elizabeth Taylor.
Yeah, like obviously a young one. Yeah,
Yeah,
looks vampiric. Yes. Well, I
yeah.
know
Heck,
what they're.
stick her in the Underworld movie, and she would look, completely in place.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. John says she was in book 3, right? Since I never finished the rest of the series, I didn't know she is one of the main villains.
Oh, she shows up in
Nope,
two.
2. Yeah, 2 was when she showed up and revealed herself at the end of it. It was so good. And Margaret, I think. Oh, was it Anne
Oh,
Margaret? Well, yeah, definitely a classic
my bad.
actress. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, first of all, let's look at her eyes. Black and goth. Okay, how racist is it that they think a bad woman and an evil woman and everything that she has about her is black? I mean, come on. Just
Yeah, it look you know, it's like Evil Lynn from He-Man. You
yeah.
know, it's like, yeah, you're gonna be, I'm gonna make people trust me and blah blah blah, and but I'm gonna dress as evil as possible. That'll make them trust me. I mean, if you run into someone like that, you're not gonna trust the person.
Hmm.
I mean, imagine if that lady walks up to you in the street and wants to sell you bitcoins. Would you fall for that?
No. Fugly gothics making us look bad. Yeah. Oh dear.
Regular
Well,
goths tend to be cool people, actually. Uh, they just dress differently, but the way Hollywood portrays goths is way different because they're
yeah.
always dabbling with magic or something. It's like, is that all they do? From my experience, the goths tend to play a lot of video games.
Good point. Oh, yeah, real goths are really cool. Well, and here's the thing. Even if this is where she's revealing herself, look at what they're having her wear. I mean, first of all, it's ugly. It's weird and not enhancing anything about her. Like I said, maybe I could forgive them if they're trying to show she's really ugly because she's a bad person, except for the fact that we don't see that with other characters. And of course, the jaw. Everything about it, they're choosing actresses with these really strong jaws and making her eyes look sunken in. Her hair isn't very pretty. Her I don't even know what she's wearing. Like that just because you're evil doesn't mean that you're I want to say steampunk, but I'm not even sure that's steampunk because like look at that. That's not like anything that would fit into that world.
Yeah, yeah. Rachel in the chat is saying, yeah, the goths play video games and write cringe fan fiction. That is absolutely a thing. The cringe fan fiction. I've seen it. Uh, Sorry, but there are stereotypical things with the goths.
Yeah.
But I've never seen
Exactly.
any of them make a pact with the devil.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not associated with that. Now, in some cases, evil will look really yucky. But the evil that we always have to be on the lookout for is the evil that is beautiful. Wait a second. Stop the presses. There was a hottie Sadai in this season. What? How did she slip through? They actually cast a good looking Sadai. Real goth saffron.
Well, she was probably a token,
Yeah.
right? Like, we need one pretty one in there, right?
Yes. Ah, thank you for the word. Cyberpunk. Thank you. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
cyber, not steampunk. Yeah,
Yeah, so
because it's,
cyberpunk is kind of, Blade Runner,
yes, correct.
right?
Yeah, I was,
Futuristic. Steampunk is more industrial revolution fantasy-ish.
correct.
So,
Yeah, that's why I was having struggles with the right word because I knew it wasn't correct. Yes.
yeah,
And
the the Van Helsing movie
yes.
with Hugh Jackman, that one is a little bit steampunkish, but with the weapons and
Hmm,
yeah.
Okay, well that's fun. Yeah. Subhuman 84. Hello, good to see you. Whiting Room will have something to say about this. Yes. Hottie Sadai was Black Aja, so that makes her even hotter. Oh, wow. Well, why didn't they just cast her as Lian Fear or something? Yeah, that's just weird. Weird,
Yeah,
weird, weird.
Josa looks like a Karen.
Yeah. Yeah, she doesn't look like a Forsaken that's gonna come and take over the world or whatever with the Dark One. I want to talk to the manager.
Yeah, the room I rented did not come with black candles.
Yeah. There you go. Rachel Percyart says, it is the jawline. Her dark hair and light eyes work, but they could do keep picking women with square
Yeah,
jaws. Yeah. And
yeah.
the hair, the way they dress them up. Hmm.
Just wait until you see Leandrin.
Leandrin. Oh. Oh yeah. Yeah, she's pretty ugly. Yeah. And the lovely Sherry. Hello. Thank you for being here. Yes, the Goths that sacked Rome. The Reportorial Life Form said Rand had what?
Yeah, that never happens in the book. And you know what? You know why they did that? The showrunner said they wanted to, remove the stigma of older women sleeping with younger men or whatever. They literally said that,
Do they
as if
not?
as if milfs are stigmas.
Not
But
not anymore, for crying out loud.
I mean, what the heck does that do to enhance the story? I mean, it never happens in the books, and it doesn't happen in the books for a reason, because he's actually resisting uh, Lanfear because he cares about other women.
Yeah. And don't they know anything about the author of this? Like Robert Jordan?
He doesn't have sex scenes in the Wheel of Time.
That's what I'm
Uh,
saying. He doesn't.
it's always fade to black, or they wake up in bed, kiss a bed, or whatever. Right?
Yeah. And he does that for a reason.
Yeah,
That was what he wanted.
and that is his work, right? He All of it comes from Robert Jordan. When he wrote the Conan books, it was different setting.
Yeah.
So
It
that one
was
had the ones he did had actually quite a bit of nudity, even for a Conan book.
yeah.
So you stick to the source material like he did
Yep.
when he wrote Conan, and the Conan stuff was not something he wanted in his work. So he respected the Conan world 100%, and then he did his own thing and put whatever he felt was best into the Wheel of Time, right?
Mhm.
And then Amazon shows up and uses it as a sandbox, because that's what they're doing. That they're just using the characters and some events and stuff and just putting them where they want, as a you know sandbox thing, and then they're filling the gap with their own, I guess, political views.
Yeah.
You know,
Ugh. Yeah. My gosh.
and also you can literally tell that they probably didn't read the books. They looked at synopsis and stuff like that on the wiki page, which is why they are screwing up the context, right? Of why
Yeah.
this and this happened. This leads to this because, right? And instead of just boom, yeah, we're having this event now. Everyone's going to be happy, and then they haven't built it up. The why it happens isn't even there.
Yeah. They have zero concept
Yeah,
of
it's
what
it's like
makes a
a
story.
piecemeal.
Yeah. Very similar to what they did with the Rings of Prime, where they thought, oh, it's just fantasy, if we just throw in the name Galadriel and elves and Mordor and Sauron and creatures, boom. That's what
You
makes a
know,
fantasy. It's the
I
story that makes the fantasy, just
I,
like
uh,
anything else.
I saw an interview with a guy named Neil Halford, who was tasked with writing Betrayal at Krondor, the video game, which is set in the Rift War world by Raymond Feist, right?
Hmm.
Raymond Feist later wrote a novel based on the game to make it canon for the fans. But Neil Holford had not read the books, and he was terrified of pissing off the book fans by breaking lore and all that stuff and continuity. So he read all the books published thus far several times and took notes. I was like, okay, this is what this plant does, right?
Hmm.
And this is what this castle is described as, and he stuck to it. And the game became a, it wasn't a big success on release, but then it got re-released on the CD-ROM because the CD-ROM came out, and it was
Hmm.
a massive hit. I think it was RPG of the year in '93 or something. And that was one guy honoring the source material because he got this chance to make this game set in someone else's work, and he didn't want to screw up Feist's work, you know.
Yeah.
So he was he did, 200% respect, right, and made the
Yeah.
effort into understanding the source material. That there is something that never happens anymore, you know.
Very rarely. The only thing that I can think of right now that compares is what they're doing with the Conan the Barbarian stuff with Titan, like what Jim Zub is doing. I think
Yeah,
that they're doing a fantastic job, and their books
yeah.
too are good.
He's almost an exception to the rule,
Yeah,
you
he
know.
is an exception to the rule.
Yeah, and Rachel in the chat has a good point. It's they've taken from the Game of Thrones roots from that show. More sex and less story. Yeah, and that's what tanked the whole TV show. Because most of the sex stuff and all that in the show isn't even in the books
No.
because almost every scene that takes place at the whorehouse is not in the books because it's from Littlefinger's point of view and he doesn't have POV chapters.
Yes. And there was a point to them. Yeah, it says something about Dan and Dave that they wanted to do that. But I also wanted to acknowledge what Salty Traveling Sea, hello, said the how and why of this deeply corrupted non-adaptation require hours to explain. No, it's toxic and ruined. I will not cover it anymore. And I do appreciate that. I
Yeah,
didn't even want to see pictures of it, but as I said earlier in the stream, it's so different from what the real one is. It's not bothering me at all. Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, the Sonic films, that's another example. Respecting source material and the longtime fans, yeah. But I was talking about this earlier. It's not just in the entertainment. I always talk about the original lore of church. Look how they've ruined that once the leftists got in charge. When's the last time you've heard Gregorian chant, unless if it was in a concert? Star Wars has seeped into new Trek. 5,000 days since the Dance of Dragons. Yeah, we do
no,
not endorse George R. R. Martin when it comes to that at all. Salty Traveling Sea says, when Zub and I talked, we specifically discussed Howard's use of language and pacing. Yay! Zub honors and respects the source material. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
It's heck. If you look at the insults in Conan, they're very unique to the Conan world. It's like, die, you son of a thousand hyenas, or stuff like that. It's very creative,
Yeah.
you know, and it needs to be there because it was there originally, and the Conan world wouldn't change, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. And look how successful it is. It's wildly successful, this series. And they keep doing more and expanding of it. Yeah, calling long-term fan names doesn't help either. We called that sexplanation because you were forced to sit through it because they put long monologues during graphic sex scene. Drove me crazy.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. It's like, what
and
kind of sick f's are you?
it usually happened in the Littlefinger scenes on Game of Thrones, and it's like they've taken the dumbest stuff from Game of Thrones and
Yeah.
put it into other fantasy shows. You know, season one, two, three, and four of Game of Thrones is close to the source material, but not in terms of the sex scenes.
Yeah.
They were there for shock value, and I think um, it carried over a bit from shows like Spartacus. You know, because that has
Oh,
way more sex. It's a incredibly well made show, but they have that element, and um I think what has happened with TV show writing now
mhm.
is the reaction videos have affected the writing because I remember when they had the Game of Thrones stuff, and you'd have people, post their reactions to the Red Wedding and stuff like that, and
Yep.
that is attention for the show, isn't it? Because those reactions got millions of views. So
Yeah.
if a TV show wants to be on most people's radar, you put shock moments in there, right, for people to react to, and
And it'll help people watch it. It'll help with the advertising and
yeah, and if you look at season five, six, seven, and eight of Game of Thrones, it's just a series of uh, events that are there to cause a reaction in the audience because almost none of them make sense story wise,
yeah.
and they even contradict the previous seasons.
Yeah, it was such a mess. It was such a disappointment. Oh dear. But was not a disappointment. Look at how lovely she is. This is Rosamund Pike in Pride and Prejudice. And yes, she is younger, obviously, but her beauty is still beautiful when you look at the actress. And as you can see, she has a very feminine hairstyle. It's a Regency thing going on. Look at her makeup. Look at her cheeks, look at her
And
jaw, she looks normal.
also one of the few Bond girls who's had a very good career after Bond.
Mm, yep. And reading my mind here, Rachel Perciar, crazy how they work to make Rosamund Pike unattractive. Yes. So let's look at what they've done to Rosamund Pike. And this is supposed to be Moraine, for crying out loud. Look at that.
Yeah, again the jaw, and they also gave her pants because they felt, yeah, she's like doing all kinds of action and she's a feminist icon, so she needs to wear pants, not a dress.
Yeah.
I said I don't dress like this,
No.
and shoulder guards or whatever it is. What's the
Yeah.
point of that if you're not even using a sword?
Yeah. And it goes underneath her armpits and
Yeah, I mean, her chest, where the heart is, has no protection, but it's important to protect the shoulder, apparently.
yeah. Speaking of chest, not showing any of her enhancements here. And the hair, you see, the hair actually gives her more of that square rectangle, like her face is
Yeah,
a jaw. Hey,
it's like a
so
square frame, like a picture frame.
yeah, because they have to make her look masculine. So this is how you do it. If you all they would have to do is pull it back or something. But definitely this is not an attractive hairstyle for the actress. It's not as attractive clothes. The clothes make her look all square. And not to mention her makeup. I've been talking about the makeup. Yes, she has on blush, but the way it is not on to enhance her beauty, and it kind of sinks in her cheeks a little bit to make the jaw look even wider. Oh, my goodness. Salty Traveling Sea says, there came a moment for me watching Wheel of Time Season 2 where I realized I was being deliberately poisoned by the show. It made me fully reconsider what I invite into my psyche. Stop, never look back. Yeah. And that's why I won't watch the show.
I picture
Definitely.
Salty slamming his coffee cup into the table and screaming, "Enough!
Yeah.
This poison."
Yep. And it
I
is.
think that's what happened. And then he crushed the coffee cup in his mighty hand, and he still has the scars.
Well, that's a scene worthy of Conan there. It's epic. And Royal Rosamund Pike is hot. Yes, she's a gorgeous. Her moron. Oh, I see. That is what people call Moraine, is the face of evil. Yeah, that's the other thing. It's the face of evil. Her character is the most evil in the Wheel of Prime. Oh yeah, I have no doubt about it. Subhuman 84 says putting sex scenes in places it doesn't belong should tell you the people running the show don't want to live just want to live out their kinky fetishes. Yeah, especially that scene in season 1 of Game of Thrones. I missed that
Yeah.
whole dialogue and backstory because I would skip those sex scenes and I didn't realize that they were putting exposition in them.
Oh yeah, the one with Littlefinger.
Yes.
When he's they're basically teaching the prostitute how to behave, and he's doing
Mm-hmm.
exposition while watching. Yeah, not in
Yeah.
the book. I mean, the prostitute isn't even in the book. They put her in
No.
there for the show, and which is I feel sorry for the actress because she was one of the best actresses on the show when they actually let her act.
Yeah.
You know.
And they gave an essential background story to Littlefinger in there. So because I hadn't read the books, I didn't know. Because I missed it because I was like, I'm not watching this garbage. And I'm not necessarily a prude, but come on. The hair, yeah, this is a very good point, Rachel Percy Art. The hair draws her face down and washes her out. Absolutely. And we've seen what you do with her to make her hair look pretty and stuff. Oh dear, you Lord Thoth hate watch season 1 and 2. Hello, by the way. And not sure if I want to do that. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
No,
I
just
mean, I'm not.
reread the books or something, or start another fantasy book series.
Yeah. Ah, look at that, Stieg. You were pretty
See,
close to his actual reaction.
I know how he thinks. I've analyzed the man.
F this effing show. Salty. Yeah. I cleansed my palate, Lord Thoth says, by re-listening to the audiobooks while watching Lancelot on to book 6. Okay.
Well, walking Lancelot.
Oh, got you.
Probably his dog. I hope.
Oh, that's a cute name.
Yeah, the Chaos is a ladder scene is really good. However, we don't necessarily know Littlefinger's true motivations in the books yet.
That's true.
So,
Oh, it is! Lancelot is his 2-year-old beagle. That is a great name for a dog. Aw. Yeah. Well, I'm safe here. This whole stream came about from a conversation Steve and I were having, and I found that it's just no way that this is close to the Wheel of Time book, so it's not going to affect how I'm reading, because for crying out loud, I mean, this could be a random TV show that I came across on the CW. That's as
yeah,
much as that could affect. It's like the Vampire Diaries affecting how I look at the Wheel of Time. It is so far away from it that it won't be a problem.
well, another thing is, if you hate this and want it to go away, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the love of God, don't go to Amazon Prime and watch it, because you're giving it views. You're sustaining it and enabling it. If you feel you absolutely have to hate watch it, go to the high seas. You know, because if you're giving them money for something you hate, you can't complain if they use that money to make more stuff you hate, right?
Yeah. Well, I tend to stay away from that kind of conversation because we know that sometimes people have not been charitable, not you, about it. So I say people
Oh,
watch what you want to watch.
I'm not charitable at all, but it
Okay. Okay, you heard it here. Well, I guess no one would argue with that. I guess what I'm saying is you're not mean to people if they actually do go ahead and do so. I mean,
only if they tell others not to, and then they
that's
do it
true.
themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, if you tell people not to boycott it and then you watch it yourself, yeah, that is something different. Ah,
Yeah,
well, look.
or if you actually take money from your audience while telling them, yeah, we need to boycott this, and then you're the only one who doesn't, right?
Yeah, but watching it, I will. Yeah, just wanted to make that clear. So we have a $1.49 super sticker from Salty Traveling Sea, and it is a rose. Thank you very much, Salty. Yes, I
And
appreciate you.
you know what? Uh, that money is actually a huge sacrifice for him because that money was going to be spent on his new coffee cup, but he gave it to you instead. That's how much you mean to him.
Well, how nice of you. You heard it here first. And for that, you, sir, get a rose. Thank
So
you.
he sent you a super sticker with a rose, and you just send the rose right back.
Yeah, it's a shower of roses.
You just sent back his gift.
No, I did not. It was a different rose.
It's
Shut up.
like, yeah, here's the damn rose back. I'm keeping the money.
Oh, dear. I agree with you. I just hope Amazon doesn't get a hold of Alexander Dumas's books. I love those stories. Yeah.
Oh, that would be horror, horrific.
Yeah. Salty Traveling Sea says, understanding that these woke shows that all did the same changes agenda did so only to demoralize us, it makes it very easy to walk away. It's enemy propaganda. Treat them as such. Absolutely. Once I
Yeah,
figured that out, like when it first happened with the Star Wars, I didn't realize what they were doing. Now that we've seen the pattern so much, and I think that for me, the Wheels of Prime was when I finally figured it out that it was actually a humiliation exercise that they were
you,
doing.
and it's not the first time it happened. Because in the 30s, one might remember a certain Donald Duck episode where Donald Duck was playing Yahtzee.
Oh.
Remember that? I think you can find it on YouTube actually,
Well,
but
that was to make
it's
fun of the Austrian,
mm,
right? Or was it not? I don't
no,
know.
no.
Huh. Hello, Mars Monkey Max. Yeah. Oh, yeah, 1940s. Okay, yeah, we all know what that is referring to. Yeah, called brutalism, part of Marxism. I think you know that. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. Well, we've
and
been.
whenever there's a communist takeover of a country, the first thing they do is demonize the heroes, and then
Mm,
destroy the statues and idols of that country. Right?
yep.
Uh, Today, uh, especially in the U.S., a lot of the heroes, if you will, and idols are found in pop culture. Captain America, Superman, Luke Skywalker, right?
Yes.
And
Well.
all of them got attacked pretty viciously at the same time, and systematically male heroes, which males are the fighting force, right?
Hmm.
Um, have been demonized and demoralized, and their heroes, masculine heroes, have been taken away or changed, and it happened actually very fast. You had Han Solo, Luke Skywalker, and then it would have been Indiana Jones, but that got postponed a lot. You know, uh,
Yes.
he got wrecked, and even Dewey from the Scream movies. You know,
Yeah. Yeah,
so
it's all over the place.
it was definitely systematic what happened.
Yeah, it was planned. You've all asked, well, here she is.
Leandrin, the jaw.
Wow. This is like the gold medal of the jaw. If a woman has a jaw like that, you don't do the hair like the way it is. You don't pull it back. Pulling back her hair like that behind the ears with those braids and things, that enhances the wide jaw. This picture almost makes it look like they're pulling with the Godfather thing, but
You
it's
know what it looks
part of
like? You know those early polygon 3D models that they had in older video games when 3D became a thing
mhm.
because they were very angular. You know
Oh,
that
yes.
the heads were square, and that's what it looks like.
Yeah. Well, and what's also striking me is the hair on the Aes Sedai is very unattractive in this show. You look at the chick behind her. It's like, why would women do their hair ugly? Women used to do their hair practically or set their hair practically, like with a lot of braids and things, but it wouldn't be done ugly and definitely done ugly from our point of view. It's like, why would you do that? Like all those little braids behind you and behind your ear, and it's all sticking up. It's ugly. And of course, she has smudgy, dark black eyeliner because apparently evil means black. So they're ist, even though they won't
It's
admit it. The
it's like
clothing,
that that meme with the guy with the big square jaw.
mhm,
This is his sister.
yeah, yep. Lord Thoth says she's actually not unattractive when she is not done that way. I
Oh,
believe it. I haven't seen a picture of the actress, but I would be willing to bet you $1,000 that she does not look like this.
and all of them actually that we've shown probably look great. I mean, we saw it with the lady who plays Coral in The Witcher, right? The one
Mhm.
they made look 40 years older.
Yes.
Looks great in real life. And why do they do this? And I mean, it has to be the actresses have to see it at some
Yeah.
point that something's off about this.
I'm sure they do, but as we know that actresses, their job is to sit in the makeup chair and have them do the hair, do all of that, whichever way that they're supposed to do it. They're like Barbie dolls. They're just there to be dressed up. And people want work. Polygons, people are saying, yeah, Bruce Campbell looks like the chick from Attack of the Clones. I agree. Lord Thoth says, well, she is a former Red Aja, so it kind of makes sense.
Uh,
Yes, maybe, but the thing is that it's consistent across all of the Ajas.
yeah, it's all of the females
Yeah.
almost.
So
They're
I see
either
what he's
race
saying.
swapped or jaw enhanced. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. She can crush ice with that jaw. Yeah. They should cast her as a Crimson Chin, says that. Yeah. I mean, no, I see what you're saying like that. Maybe it might work with this character. Yeah. Oh, but my goodness gracious.
but everyone in the chat though, I'm sure you can see the pattern
Yeah.
here, right? It's a thing, you
It's a
know.
transformer thing. And
If that's what it is.
yeah.
They're making women look more masculine and men look more feminine, so they'll blur the differences. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure the end game is to make sure there's only one. So sleep with a human.
Yeah.
You know, Nothing else matters. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, definitely that we see this so much with women. I think that, well, we've been seeing the eraser of women now, haven't we? All right, one more. This is a Witcher one. Here
Yeah,
we go.
Fringilla
Explain the.
Vigo, who is heavily based on Italy, right? She's Italian-ish name, and I think she's from the that area of the Witcher map that's supposed to represent Italy culturally. Um, and like all the other sorceresses, she's vain. She shows off, right, and sexualizes herself to make herself attractive because that's what the sorceresses do. I don't remember if it's a side effect of magic that does it, that it enhances desires in a way
Mm,
and narcissism. But yeah, and on the left is how they interpreted that on the show.
yeah. I mean, before we get to the obvious that it's a swap, look at the difference in clothing. High
Yeah,
neck. I mean, a nun isn't that high necked on her clothing for crying out loud. Unattractive. You can't see any of her boobs. You can't see any curves.
yeah,
I
and
guess
she's
from.
barely in the earlier books.
Mm,
Yet she has a prominent role in the early seasons of the show.
mm-hmm. Biggle says she is insufferable in The Witcher. Every time she's on screen, I want to smash my head against a wall. Please don't. We can't have women here looking pretty. I really hated this change for Fingilia. Yeah, and Monkey Max says what's disturbing is to think about the type of people that are financing all of this blurring of genders, not necessarily the people practicing it, but the people who are pushing them to. Yeah, what's behind this? Yeah,
I
who's the
I, I
people
think
behind the people?
well, there's absolutely an agenda, and Amazon had certain criteria, I think, and so does Netflix, that you need a certain amount of representation in every show and all that, just to check the boxes.
Hmm.
But that means, let's say you're a showrunner, and you compare that to being a chef, right? It's like, yeah, make a dinner for all these people and make sure everyone's happy with it, but you can only use 6 ingredients.
Yeah. Or and they
And
pick out the ingredients for you.
yeah,
It's like
yeah,
you
and
you
all
have to make a cake, you have to make bread, but you're not allowed to have yeast.
yeah, and you have to include these 6 ingredients in every meal you make,
Yeah.
which is why people get fed up and because everything looks the same and generic. It's because they're all using the same ingredients, which takes
Yeah.
it basically wipes away the uniqueness of anything. The Ironically, by pushing gender identity, they take the identity away from the IP.
Hmm. That's a good analogy. Yeah, Dig Outlaw's pointing out that she was only like in 2 chapters of the books. So,
Yeah, and she shows up. Uh, I don't remember if she. Well, she was probably mentioned in the earlier books, but she has a. I think it's in book. I think it's in the last book. She's basically there to kind of distract Geralt with, you know, shagging,
oh, well, of course.
keep him busy and stuff, and then he wins her over.
Hmm. Oh, there we are. Hi, King Feaner's here. Hello, he's listening while he's driving to work. Well, thank you for being here. Yeah. Now, her makeup is actually feminine, though. I've been complaining about the non feminine makeup, and it's like, no, they actually, it enhances her. They have nice eyeshadow and making her eyelashes look nice and long. That's a very feminine thing, and her lipstick is nice. So her face looks fine. They didn't uglify her face, they just uglified everything else about her. So, hmm. Well, too bad. Okay, I think that yeah, that is the last of our comparisons here. I want to thank you, Steve, for putting all this together. He sent these to me to put together into a slideshow, and for the idea. I think it was a good thing.
Yeah,
Now
it's
I need.
patterns. It's always patterns, isn't it? Once
Mhm,
once you start noticing things, and or rather changes, and most of the changes in a lot of things tend to be the same,
mhm,
then there's something going on,
yeah,
because it's definitely not happening by chance, is it?
no, not at all. Oh dear. Well, if there is one exception, and it was a very surprising one, it was Wicked, believe it or not. Forget all the publicity and everything, but in the movie, they actually have it being very aesthetically beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The women are beautiful, including Cynthia Erivo. What they do to her is they put a nice, beautiful wig on her, so she looks fantastic. And of course, Ariana Grande looks great. The clothes are feminine, they're big, they're poofy, they're beautiful. So that's one movie where they actually have everything be aesthetic. The publicity was very unfortunate for it and all of that, but they do actually have femininity and masculinity in that movie. But it's also a musical, so I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, but that's the only thing I can think of in years that actually had things looking nice. Let me rephrase that. The Barbie movie did. Barbie looked fantastic, but then again, there was a reason behind all of that, so I'm not entirely sure that that's a good thing. But yeah, you don't see beauty. But I want you all to find beauty. So if you
You
can't,
know,
sorry,
oh,
go ahead.
sorry.
No,
Well,
go ahead.
the few times in the last few years where um, the studio or director or whatever it is has actually stuck to the source material and honored it, it's been great. I mean, look at Top Gun Maverick, right? It,
Yes.
it did everything right. It was almost a perfect sequel that definitely honored the past, and it didn't crap on any characters to to push some agenda. And heck, even Cobra Kai and Ash versus Evil Dead did it right. And the third Ghostbusters movie, where they honored Harold Ramis at the end, that one didn't do too much wrong. You know,
Yeah.
that's what everything should be like. You know, you you can't build a solid new floor on a great building by crushing the foundation first, right?
Yes. Good point. My goodness gracious. Yeah, and you were going along with my same thought process here was it which is find beauty. You don't have to accept ugly. Some people were saying earlier, they just refused to keep watching Wheel of Time, even to hate watch it or even to roast it. And I completely understand that. Fill yourself up with beauty, fill yourself up with beautiful art. If you need to, go backwards as far as you can. Go back to the 1940s. Some of those movies were gorgeous and beautiful
Yeah.
and lovely to watch. Go to a symphony and listen to a Beethoven seventh or uh,
Well,
some
it's
Brahms.
it's what I've said so many times on streams and on Twitter. If there's a movie or show you've never seen before, that makes it new content for you.
Hmm.
It doesn't have to be made today to be new content, right? All it has to be is something you've never seen before.
Hmm. Yeah, you've got it. Oh boy. Oh, still not finished Army of Darkness. Yeah, go ahead. It's good. If you can't look forward to stuff, look backwards. Precisely. Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Yeah,
and yeah, people would be eating it up if it was a good adaptation.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they keep saying, yeah, we're going to change it for the modern audience, and people who have not read the books, while still keeping it interesting for the people who have read the books, and blah blah blah. Well, here's the thing: people who love the books love it for a reason, and they love it because the books are what they are. So if they just adapt that, the modern audience and the normies or whatever will eat it up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to alter it for them, right?
No.
Because they don't know if it's accurate or not anyway. So why not just make it accurate to begin with?
Yeah. Amen. Wheel of Time, the TV series, Wheel of Prime, would be as big as Lord of the Rings if they did it right. It would be as big as Game of Thrones. He would have had his Game of Thrones if he'd have just made it faithful. Everyone would be watching it. Everyone would be talking about it.
Well, technically, he has his Game of Thrones because it's a train wreck. That's what the Game of Thrones became.
That is true. Ooh.
And all the normies, right, were raging about the last season of Game of Thrones. Like, no, it was season 5, 6, 7, and 8. It wasn't just 8.
Yeah.
And then they're blaming George Martin for it, who happened to not be involved with season 5, 6, 7, and 8 because they pushed him out.
True.
So they're thinking that's what the books are like, right? Because I see all the time people bashing, George Martin, you sick bastard. You wrote this. Like, no, the showrunner's dead.
Yeah. Though it is his fault that he didn't finish the books or at least
Oh,
come
hell
out with
yes.
Winds of Winter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nordporial Lifeform asked, do you think they make these changes just to provoke fans? A little bit. Or they definitely, in their publicity, they provoke fans. But I think they really are doing it on purpose because they don't want beauty. They want to destroy good art. And maybe they don't even know they're doing it. That's what's, yeah. Mm. Let's see. It's title theft, art theft. That's a good way of looking at it. Most people these days won't want to read older stuff, says Subhuman, because they're being told it's outdated and problematic. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Problematic
which is
usually means good.
exactly problematic. It means good. And if you are seeing something that is old, or maybe if you even run across somebody that has that attitude, well, maybe you can change their mind. Maybe you can let them know. Um, let's see. Rachel Percier says, "Oh, the shows have really damaged his legacy because Fire and Blood was finished, and they still wrote Damon and his mother having sex." Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, they a story Martin actually finished, and they wouldn't adapt it properly and added weird crap to it. Biggle says they need to provoke the fans so they can blame them later, not take responsibility.
Oh, she vanished. Um, well, I'll take over. I'm in total control. Corporeal life form says, do they just want to divide people? I don't understand that benefit. Um,
My cat kicked me off.
hmm, you got pussy whipped.
Oh no.
Uh, I, I think, yeah, in some cases they do, or they believe, politics has turned into a bit like rival sports fans, where they want to one up the other side, right? And you see it all the time when writers or whatever are talking about the TV shows. And I mean, heck, the latest Terminator movie, you had the director say, "Yeah, this is gonna piss off the the male chauvinists and scare the crap out of them and blah blah blah." Look at how that went. You're already insulting probably your target audience before it's
Mhm.
even out. And when the director and showrunners start off with it's them versus us as an attitude, it's going to be divisive, you
Yeah,
know?
good point. Well, and we know how much they are one-sided on their politics, so,
Yeah,
it's like, "Congratulations, you've owned us. Oh, dear."
yeah.
Meanwhile,
And
you're
it's and they're
a
like,
failure.
yeah, you're a basement dwelling 50-year-old that has never had sex with anyone or touched grass. Where does that even come from? You know?
I think it comes from their childhood insecurities when they were bullied, and now they're bullying others.
Yeah, because I literally saw one of them attack. I think it was a Star Wars fan who said, "Yeah, I'm not showing my kids any Disney Star Wars." They're like, you're an incel, and blah blah blah, right?" And I was thinking, uh, he has kids,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
So, yeah, and the people who look like incels are usually the pronoun people. So there's some heavy projection going on right there.
correct. Well, and as I was saying, if you want to bankrupt yourself, humiliate your actors and all of that, just to own us, well, congratulations. You you are sitting there investing years of your life and money into this, and we're sitting here not caring.
Uh, Rachel has a point. She says hatred of the culture they are trying to infiltrate, nerd culture. But that is true because so many nerdy hobbies have been infiltrated by people, and they show up and they got invited in because gatekeeping wasn't a thing, really. And
Yeah.
then as soon as they get in, they're like, "Yeah, these three things about this hobby, I hate it, and it's an attack on me, and it needs to go, and it needs to be removed from the hobby, right? Change it for me." It's sheer narcissism, and companies like Wizards of the Coast absolutely did that. They removed racial penalties on abilities. Back in the day, halflings would have a -2 penalty on their strength because they're small,
Oh, tell
right?
me about it.
Yeah, that's gone away because these people made a ruckus. Oh, it's racist that my halfling isn't as strong as a half orc, right?
Mm,
And they cater to it.
yeah.
And eventually, when they do that, it's no longer going to look like the hobby that you loved. It's going to look generic.
Yeah.
And yes,
Biggles is
Biggles
talking
is
about the
spot
Big
on.
Bang Theory. Yeah.
Yeah, the Big Bang Theory and to some extent Stranger Things attracted normies to geek culture, right?
Yeah.
And that's when the boulder started rolling, right?
Yeah. This is a good point. Noproyo says, "Does gatekeeping apply to producers and writers? I thought it was only to fans it applies to." I think that it is used in terms of fans, but I think, Steve, what you're talking about is producers and writers. I didn't know if you want to
Well,
expound upon that.
uh, well, yes, it should because if producers and writers don't know crap about what they're producing and writing, they're doing harm. And also, if they're actively trying to alter the IP that they're producing and writing for, right? But
Yeah.
it's like this: you invite someone into your home, right? And says, "Yeah, you can stay here for a week, you know,
Hmm.
till you get a home of your own, right?" And then
Yeah.
the person starts going, I don't like the couch. It's got the wrong color, and you're watching the wrong TV shows because it's offensive to me. And you know, why aren't there more vegan stuff in your fridge? and then eventually they'll try to get you evicted, right?
Yeah.
That's what lack of gatekeeping kind of is. So most people would eventually get fed up and throw the person out. Say, sorry, I invited you in, and you know you're being a bitch about it. Off you go.
Yeah.
That's gatekeeping in a way.
Yep. But how can you gatekeep the producers and stuff? Because we don't. No one has the power to do that.
Just don't give them money and whatever. But um, yeah,
But it's easier said than done, I guess.
yeah, because the problem is um, all of it is backed up by normies, right? Which is the bigger viewer audience, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So often they'll get away with it because of the normies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lack of gatekeeping is what, you know, why that is the case, you know.
Yeah,
But
but how do you
the
put
damage,
gatekeeping in? That's the
oh,
problem.
it's too late now, I think. But the damage has been done, and I think the normies and casuals are kind of the problem because they are the enablers, and you see it all the time. Normies defending this and that and going, yeah, but it's fantasy, so everything should be allowed to do, right? Or in case of Star Wars, it's like, yeah, but you can't complain about this because there's the Force, and that's not in the real world, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So you get arguments like that, and it's almost impossible to argue against because it's so dumb. Because you end up having to explain world building every time you're trying to counter the point.
Yeah. I'm of the opinion it's a waste of time to engage with these individuals online because no one wants to listen online. No one will change their minds.
Now, people do not read what's actually being said, uh, and they don't think about what's actually being said. They are immediately thinking about how to reply
Mm,
because they do not want to be proven wrong.
yeah. So it's a waste of time. Yeah, Archer Carlin, maybe you need to try to start a new branch of whatever and keep it right from the start. If I had the means or the inclination, yeah, but I don't think that that's possible. Frankly, I just don't think it's possible. From even individuals that are creating their own IPs and stuff, you're finding that they're falling into the same traps as the mainstream the bigger they get. It's
Yeah,
part of human nature. It's part of a call it original sin, call it something, I don't know.
it's
But
like the more you get, the more you want.
mhm,
So you'll broaden the customer base,
precisely.
and then you become exactly what you tried to replace.
Yep. My attitude as a consumer is if I like it, I'll watch it, I'll read it. And if I don't, I won't. But you'll never go wrong going backwards. And especially if you don't want to give like Wizards of the Coast money, go to thrift stores, go to a half price bookstore. They usually have a ton of Forgotten Realms and other things that are before they all went woke. So you can do that. Hell, I don't give George R. R. Martin money whenever I get things. Get it from the half price bookstore because I don't want to give him money. So it's very easy to do so. You can get Disney movies at half price stores or at garage sales. There was an estate sale nearby me where old dude died or went to a retirement home and he had a huge collection of DVDs. So go get them there so you can watch the good stuff. You can consume the good stuff without giving money as well.
Yeah, and another thing, which is also a trap, is if you have a director or something that's done a really crap movie that wreck the storyline or a franchise. Ryan Johnson, right?
Hmm.
Let's just use him as an example, who actually just did what Filoni told him to do, but people skip that. But it's very easy to go, yeah, I'm not watching anything Ryan Johnson did because of The Last Jedi, and everything he's doing from this day forward will be crap, right?
Hmm.
That doesn't have to be true because I hear his murder mystery movies are actually quite good,
Yes,
right? Because
definitely
he's
the
not
first one,
he's
Knives Out.
yeah, so he's doing his own thing instead of Star Wars, which he should never have gotten involved with ever. But that doesn't mean something else he does is just as crap as The Last Jedi. So it's easy to fall into that trap too, where you uh, judge someone's complete body of work based on one piece of work. Uh, Not that I have any interest in watching Ryan Johnson movies, but if his murder mystery movies are good, they are good, regardless of the Last Jedi, right? Because they
Yeah.
are separated. It's two different jobs.
Yep.
So
That's the
devil's
thing
advocate a
too.
little bit.
Fair enough. Yes. And we endorse devil's advocate here, Miss Smart Muses, because by nature I am an educator, and I think that that's very good things to think about. I think we need to rethink how we consume our entertainment and also rethink what makes you happy. I mean, no one has to do something that makes them unhappy. Just do something that you want to. As I said with the date Special Agent Dale Cooper quote, give yourself a present every day.
Yeah.
No one has to engage with anything that they don't want to, with, of course, a
Right.
few exceptions.
Rachel in the chat has another good point. She says publishers are forcing it on writers now. Add in certain things, or you won't be published. That is true. I've
Hmm.
spoken to the McKay brothers. They've had a lot of things to say about that stuff and how the publishing
Yeah.
uh, thing
So
works.
that's what I'm saying is so we as fans, if which is where gatekeeping usually comes in, we can gatekeep till the cows come home, but it won't make a difference if the publishers are doing it. We
Yeah, I
need to get
mean,
at them.
Raymond Feist's Magician would
Hmm.
not have been published today, and probably not even the Lord of the Rings.
Oh, definitely not the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, it
Yep.
wouldn't. There's no
Terry
LGBT.
Brooks.
There's no different races. There's no strong females really that are main characters. It just wouldn't be. It, yeah, it would have been. It would have not been published. And if you look at the new fantasy books that are represented now, or not represented but marketed,
Hmm.
it's books that people don't read, and by preferably women of color or women of the women that are not heterosexual. And I've seen a bunch of them complain on social media because their books aren't selling, even though they won these three big awards or whatever.
Hmm.
Nobody's buying them, and then they
Nope.
wanted older fantasy books to be removed from the shelves because the customers buy the older books that are tried and true, and they don't try the new stuff. So I saw one of them whine about how the fantasy books written by old white men should not be in the shelves and stuff. And she was talking about Tolkien and Feist and Terry Brooks and what have you.
Yeah,
Uh,
jealous.
yeah,
Yep, because of course people are going to buy that rather than their stuff. It is 19K Fox. Good morning, you beautiful people. Well, thank you. It's good to see you. Always good to see you. Yes, everyone, check out 19K Fox. He's got great stuff with the arcades.
yeah. I actually, I'm guilty of one of his duds because there was like a new side-scrolling beat 'em up game based on the Phantom, and I sent him a link. Hey, this looks good, doesn't it? And then he gets it, and it's a piece of crap. So I'm
Oh
like,
no.
I'm not sure if I'm going to recommend more games to him. I actually feel I should send him a few bucks. Actually,
Well, you were thinking rightly. You were there
It
was
looked
a lot
good.
of nice
It
stuff.
looked
Yes.
pretty. I was like, the Phantom, he's awesome. Like, nah.
Oh, look, he says, "Hey, it had potential." That's true. That
Yeah,
is true. It did.
I saw him play it on YouTube, and 19K Fox isn't a cusser, but he came close several times.
Oh dear. Um, Biggle says, "I think I bought a scroll text game because of Steak. It's possible he gets people to
Scroll
spend money.
a scroll text.
Um,
I
oh,
don't know
yeah,
what
I
that.
guess I I
I
don't know
have
because
no idea what that is.
I'm not much of a gamer. Okay. Well, either way, yes, Steak is known to make people spend money, and usually he's right.
I got you to get Skyrim.
You did, and look at what happened.
You played it more than me.
I did
You actually
indeed.
played it more than me in 2 years than I played it in 10 years.
I don't. I got all the achievements too. Oh, he's saying a text-based adventure.
Oh yeah, like King's Quest or something. Like
As
a
it sounds like. Yeah.
could be. Yeah,
Okay,
those are
kids.
fun.
Well, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it just said text adventure games and stuff like that. That's fun.
Yeah, that's how you speak English so well. That in movies, I guess. Ah, alrighty. Well, we need to wrap this up because I have to go live my real life, sadly, but that's okay because I actually enjoy what I do right now. So I want to thank everyone that's been coming in. This has been a great conversation. We have Biggles Mix, 19K Fox, Subhuman 84, Mars Monkey Max, Archer Colin, Rachel Percy Art, loads of people, John 5. And I'm scrolling. If I miss anyone, it's not deliberate. Things jump around. Nerdporial Life Form, we had Rachel Percy Art and more. I want to thank, oh, of course, Nordpupus Kruber. How could I forget him? Salty Traveling Sea. Thank you for the $1.49. Lord Thoth and more. There will be more musings coming around and more videos. Also, stay tuned for more reviews of Wheel of Time books as I continue to finish them. So, I want y'all to go ahead and raid Mrs. Dandman Walking if you would. A request, of course, because she's live right now. Go and give her some love if you would, if you are so inclined. And I'm going to thank my guest, Steek, for coming on and for the idea for the stream. Where can we find you?
Sometimes here, randomly, and once or twice per month on Jade Shadow's channel. Um, in a week or two, we'll be doing the top 10 favorite movies of 1998. So, not the best, just our favorites, stuff we
Mm-hmm.
rewatch and all that. And the, I like those streams, they're fun. So, we've actually been doing it for a couple of years now because we started with 1980 and been doing one per month, and now we're at 1998. So, done with another decade.
Wow. Well, that's excellent. Talk about old entertainment, and you will get a lot of good suggestions for good stuff.
And
So,
even bad suggestions, because some of the movies are objectively bad, but it's movies we had on VHS when we were kids and stuff. And if you had a couple of movies, you would watch them repeatedly. So
mhm.
they get a place in our top 10 just because of that, because we watched them 70 times, or whatever. Childhood memories.
Yes. Good times. Absolutely. Yes. And Smart says take care, everyone. All right. Well, we do have to go. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great day. And be certain to watch good entertainment.